does resumes matter at this time?
Um, yes and no. Why I say yes and no is if you are going in through a referral, let's say you come to a company where you have a friend or your previous manager who knows you, then you don't need to send a resume. Like they can just, it might be just a formality to put into the system when the formal application goes in. So on that part, I say it's no. But on the places where you don't have a referral, resume is your marketing brochure. Remember, I talked about in interviews your sales
Right.
pitch. What comes before a sales pitch is a brochure. So resume is your marketing brochure. If that doesn't leave a good impression, resume is tossed out. Move on to the next candidate. And a recruiter typically has about 7 seconds. There's a research around it, right? They have about 7 seconds to actually make a yay or a nay decision on a resume. Right. And it may not be all about, how good or bad you are. Essentially, they are, in a recruiter's mind, they have a set of criteria that they're looking for. How quickly can they find that criteria? How much overlap they can find in the criteria they have in the resume that your resume can specify? That's the most important part. And if your resume is either too long or too wordy or too hard to read, or missing the key things, is going through out the window, right? So from that perspective, it is very important.
I've heard my friends say that I apply for 100 jobs, and in it's very difficult to. So the general notion is it is getting difficult to find a job at this moment of time in our industry. So if they apply for 100 jobs, I think they get a response that we received your resume and we will be looking at your resume from around 40 to 50 companies. And out of that, maybe a company or two respond them for the next process, next steps. So I think something about the resume might be wrong, that it is not getting captured either by a recruiter or either by. I've heard that there are some automated machines that filter out resumes now for companies. So how would you like if I have to ask on behalf of my friends or from myself too, that how would you improve that? How would you create a resume in such a way that you get better responses from companies, your resume is getting looked at? So what are the some things that might get into your resume?
Sure. I think there are a couple of things going on here. Like first one is you're right in saying there are a lot of people looking for the same job. So if you look at even through LinkedIn, you'll see every job has a lot more number of applies than they previous used to have, right? So that's the first part. Which means the population that the recruiters or the hiring manager has to review is very large.
Right.
Now, if you or your resume, in this case, your resume or your application is not standing out, what are the odds? Right. So essentially, what you have to do is you have to stand out of that crowd. Right. It's the same thing. Like you can go back to India and look at the how the cricket selections happen in Ranji Trophy and the state thing and even the college
Yeah.
cricket. Is somebody needs to spot you out. Right. Somebody need like you need to be spotted, and for that to be spotted, you need to do something different. So there are a few things that you could do different is, and that is there's nothing to do with make your resume pretty. I know there are a lot of tools out there which makes your resume pretty.
Ads
I
are out.
personally feel they're a waste of money. Yeah, don't spend any money on that. They take resume, convert it to columns, 3 columns. They make it harder to parse. Right? Humans don't read things like up and down. They go from left to right and then go down. Right? And there's a research around this where we say, human eye usually follows an pattern when looking at a page. So when you start on the top of the page, you look at from top to left, left to right, and then as you keep coming down, the how far along you go in on the right side keeps reducing. Right at the top of the page, you'll go all the way to the right. At the bottom of the page, you'll probably not even go there. So put the most important things at the top, right? Work in that order. Write a nice cover letter, not nice in the sense that you are trying to please the hiring manager again. Nice as in how can you make them feel that you are the right person to solve the problem that they have, right? Nobody wants to hire a person on the team just because, right? Everybody has a set of problems that they want solved, and for that they need one or more people. And all a hiring manager needs to see is, can I find a right person who I can hand this problem to and go solve my next problem, right? So if you can make them feel confident about that part, you're okay.